Oh, where you going now? I say, oh, I'm going right. So one of my friends called me.
Yeah, the same man you going to now.
Yeah, the same man.
And the man tell you say he want for you to go steal.
No, yeah. So when I go to the man, he say, clean the car. Then they are two now.
In a jeep.
In a jeep. Then they are two.
A big jeep.
Yeah.
That one.
Black BG. Photo G.
Photo jeep.
Yeah. So when I clean the car now,
air condition all inside.
No. Papa, you can't wait for me to spin now. I'll leave the whole town now. You can judge people.
I just asking you a question, sorry.
You can judge people like you can here.
No, I'm a journalist. I beg you, sorry.
The way you talk in the question, because I say when I move from here, I'll free. You say when I move from here, I'll free. You said one talk again. I wanted to mean a whole talk clear to you, but you double in the question. Hi, looking, then you want force another more word there again. Why not be looking to the top? I'm not going to talk again. And said they call me to the office, I go explain.
The tea explained to me that you come look at you say you carry tea to the man. After you carry tea to the man and you come now. So what next now?
And for me, I will not there.
Nobody, you getting very, you say, asking you too much question. Hey, there's me things, say, make your egg and bread. You bring it. Okay, sorry. Now I say sorry now. Okay, sorry.
If you
I will not ask you the question again. Okay, sorry.
When I give you answer now, then you.
Okay, explain again. I'm not asking you no more question again. Okay, let's go ahead now.
Go to school. The English say I need the English.
Okay, sorry. Now I say sorry now. Sorry.
See, Ali, you take time. You take time.
I'm taking time. Okay, sorry. Okay.
Say I can take time
to explain. Okay.
I'm filled with a profound sense of gratitude and humility. It has been an honor and a privilege to serve as your president and commander-in-chief for the past 6 years. Together, in 2018, we embarked on a journey to build a united, peaceful, and prosperous Liberia. And I am deeply thankful for the trust and support you have bestowed upon me and my administration during my tenure. As we navigate the instrumental in the development and implementation of policies and programs that aim to bring progress and development to our great nation. Reflecting on the accomplishment of these 6 years, let me tell you that I am proud of what we have achieved together. We have built roads, supported free wires and free tuition at high schools and public universities, stabilized the macroeconomic challenges we face in 2018, built hundreds of pro-poor housing units, and achieved on so many fronts that we are able to list here today. However, I acknowledge that there is always room for improvement, and perhaps more could have been done under different circumstances. Regrettably, some of the long-term projects we initiated did not reach completion during my tenure. I am hopeful that the incoming administration will carry the torch forward and bring these initiatives to fruition for the benefit of all Liberians. Fellow compatriots, rumors, and misinformation have played a large part in our politics over the last 6 years. It is my hope we as a country will overcome this challenge over the next 6 years.
We are rejoicing about the effort to bring a new regime. Then we'll sit down with happiness. You go to write paper for that 79-year-old man. He's talking to me. Then you go there, I will tell you that nation. I will tell you US, I will bring one for you. Because you think one for you, and I will tell the open of bringing when you come to the in this country,
when you elect a clown and you think that he will be a king, what he does is to convert the kingdom into a circus. This is what we must deal with, and this is what we must say. Who do we elect into our public offices. Because, as I've said before, when you allow hyenas to take care of goats, why should you be surprised when the goats are eaten? This is the same. And Africa is only going to realize our potential in all areas when, by dint of choice, we enable and allow our best men and women to serve in different areas. I've heard it being said about Lee Kuan Yew in Singapore. I've heard it being suggested about Mahathir Mohamad in Malaysia. I've heard it being said about Japan. I've heard it being said about other countries. But there was a conscious decision on the part of those individuals and the followership. We always talk about leaders, but we never talk about the followers. The followers must also style up. Africans on average are for some reason attracted to thieves. Africans are for some reason attracted to men and women who cannot serve her. And when they are not served, then they complain. When Africans are told, choose you now whom we shall release, Jesus of Nazareth or Barabbas, they say, release Barabbas. And when Barabbas behaves like Barabbas, they say, why are you not behaving like Christ? It cannot be done.
In May of 2001, signed a second of two executive orders, number 13213, Defense Exhibit D310, in which it was stated, and I quote, the government of Liberia's complicity in the RUF's illicit trade in diamonds and its other forms of support for the RUF are direct challenges to the United States foreign policy objectives in the region, as well as the rule-based international order that is critical to the peace and prosperity of the United States. Therefore, I find these actions by the government of Liberia contribute to the unusual and extraordinary threat to the foreign policy of the United States described in Executive Order 13194, with respect to which the President declared a national emergency. This executive order did not say the alleged complicity, it concluded the complicity. The conspiracy was born, all systems put into motion, and here I stand today. I never stood a chance. This is the broader contextual matrix that regrettably did not and still has not seen the light of day in these proceedings, despite the gallant efforts by the defense to unearth and reveal the contextual framework behind the charges against me. Now, with the two executive orders, the dogs were let out, so to speak. What followed was a dispatch of the attack pack led by Lieutenant Colonel David Crane, Defense Intelligence, 30 years, prosecutor. He, Crane, unlawfully unsealed the court's sealed indictment to his handlers, senior U.S. government officials at the U.S. Embassy in Freetown, and was never held to account. The rest of the operational team are Colonel Brenda Hollis, Defense Intelligence, CIA, U.S. Air Force, Senior Trial Counsel, and our prosecutor. James C. Johnson, U.S. Army expert, 20 years, unconventional and special operations, Chief of Prosecutions for the SCSL. Alan White, 30 years, Defense Intelligence, recalled from retirement to head up investigations at the Special Court of Sierra Leone. Stephen J. Rapp came on board as chief prosecutor for a short time with experience from Capitol Hill, where he served with the U.S. Senate Judiciary Committee sometime before. It came as no surprise to me that as a reward of sorts for Stephen Rapp's diligence in the execution of U.S. foreign policy objectives through these ad hoc tribunals, he was appointed U.S. Ambassador Allied for War Crimes issues. In support of the contextual framework of politics, on February 8, 2006, Lieutenant Colonel David Crane, prosecutor, appeared before a U.S. Congress Subcommittee on Africa, Defense Exhibit D404, and spelled out in clear terms the decision taken in support of regime change in Liberia and what needed to happen to solidify that process. There was little mention, if any, in his testimony about Sierra Leone. And here is what he said. I posit that 5 years from now, when the international community is challenged by other crises, Taylor in Calabar, under the protection of Nigeria, will make his move. We will wake up one morning and watch on CNN as Taylor rides triumphantly down the main street in Monrovia to the executive mansion, daring all of us to come and get him. Unless he is handed over to the special court for Sierra Leone, this scenario is not out of the realm of possibilities. He then asked, how do we assure Liberia's future? And he answers that. Ultimately, he says, what we do about Taylor in the next several weeks will determine the fate of Liberia and the new administration of its president, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Crane then sets out several plans, two of which I'll state here. He said, first, hand Charles Taylor over to the special court for Sierra Leone for a fair trial, his kind of trial. This takes him out of the local and regional dynamics that is West Africa. Second, tie any financial and political support to good governance in Liberia. Time does not permit, but the exhibits are present. Not even the Nigerian nation was spared from threats and intimidation, as explained by Fani Kayode, press secretary to President Obasanjo, the Nigerian head of state, who was with him in Washington when President George W. Bush promised, and I quote, to bring Nigeria to its knees if Taylor was not turned over to the special court. And what happened? Obasanjo buckled and capitulated. Now, this demonstrates the significant pressure that was brought to bear on President Obasanjo, irrespective of his personal and leadership obligations to the West African sub-region. And therein lies the dilemma for current African heads of state and government, but how to enter into binding commitments and obligations with the African pairs and remain steadfast, resolute, and unyielding in their fidelity to those agreements in the face of such unrelenting and punishing pressure from powerful Western leaders.
My people, where you at? Where you at? Wake up from your slumber, stop sleeping. Whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your. Come on, come on, come on. I know y'all sleeping now. Y'all gotta wake up small, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. So much. I said, they lie. The people fool us, the people lie to us. The government betray us. They get lies, they get steal, they get lies. I said, we tired with their lies. We tired with their promises that led us to a lot of damages. We tired with that speech they preach indeed, and now unique they deceive us. The thing we saw, it frustrates us. So why does you lie? Why does you steal? Why does you allow the citizens to be? See, we just tell you that why we voted you. But you fool us, you screw us, you use us and little abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. They lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They betray us so much. I said they lie.
It's always a pleasing moment when we see these microphones, when we see ourselves seated behind these microphones, to engage with you, the people, with you in the audience. Those of you who believe in what we do and what we say, and the way we say them. It is exciting. Let me say a very, very pleasant good evening to all of you across the country. Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, good evening to those of you in the diaspora, our friends, our fans, our followers, our critics, and even those of you who do not like the things we say and the way we say them. It's good to have all of you joining us tonight on a Tuesday in the Republic of Liberia from the nation's capital, Monrovia. Yes, and all of the conversations are being held. How long these conversations are going to last for? Somebody says as long as
The people lie to us.
the 2026
They can lie, they can steal, they can knock the corrupt.
Sona's official presentation exists. We will always remind those in power about the things that were mentioned, that were indicated in the report to the legislature for the people.
We tired with the promises.
But Takunje is saying on behalf of the people that the people are tired with their promises. We want to hear achievement. We don't want to hear promises anymore. We're tired with projections, unnecessary ones that are not being achieved in real sense. So yes, on yesterday, Joe Barker delivered his State of the Nation address.
You screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why
I call him Joe Barker for a reason.
you lie? Why?
And I will tell you what.
The question that we ask.
It is only because of one reason why I'm going to, if I'm even going to have a conversation about the State of the Nation address, and that's because of the introductory part of this the speech.
The people lie to us. The government betray us.
We will focus on the introductory part of the speech. The president was lawless and disrespectful to the laws, to the rules, to the courts. And so since the president decides to be lawless and disrespectful, we have to treat his disrespectful behavior and comments made to the rule of law. And we have to indicate and emphasize that the president was disrespectful, lawless, and careless in his utterances from the introductory portion of his speech. And that's the only reason why I'm having conversation about that speech delivered on yesterday. As I will be talking something else.
You use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government
When he mentioned the burning of the Capitol building,
that we ask.
I thought that was lawless. I thought that was irresponsible. I thought that was disrespectful to the courts, to our judicial process. The rest of the rubbish that were mentioned, I'm not going to waste my time on them.
People lie to us.
If you have your 70,000 job or you're benefiting from the 70,000 jobs, that's your business. If the thousands of schools that were built and your child or children are going to aid, that's your business. If the healthcare is okay for you, that's your business. If security is okay for you, that's your business. If roads and other infrastructures are being built to your taste, that's your business. I'm not interested in them. If poverty rate has reduced, that's your business.
To allow the damages.
That's for you. That's on you.
And now you need the DC.
If you believe that Joe Burger has lifted you out of poverty, good for you.
So why did you lie?
But I'm focusing on the aspect, the introductory portion of the speech tonight.
Just tell you. That why we vote tell you. Thank God.
So the 72nd barracks,
You screw us. You use us and later on abuse.
that entire saga has taken another trend. The Supreme Court has placed a stay order
We ask.
or has issued a writ of prohibition at the Ministry of National Defense, and that stay order was issued by 11:27 today. Has it been received up to the time I was coming on this radio? The Ministry of National Defense was refusing or have refused to sign for this writ of prohibition from the Supreme Court. This radio, we are 100% sure that the nobody from the ministry has signed or has taken delivery. Nobody has taken delivery of the a writ of prohibition from the Supreme Court. This is the level of lawlessness that we are experiencing in our country where Joe Barker is presiding over. This show is proudly sponsored by Crime Stopper Liberia. This is Freedom Hard Talk. We talk the hard way here. We talk the hard issues. My name is Austin. Very shortly, we take a break from our sponsor, Crime Stopper Liberia. When we come back, we welcome all of you joining us tonight on the show, and then we'll move into our discussion. Stick and stay. Don't go away. We'll be right back after this break.
It's about musical. There are crimes in many places. In every community, you can see. So if you see crime, you report it. Don't take law in your hands for the right authority. That it can't take care of it. Crime Stopper here for us, bringing safety to your door. Whether you rich or you poor, if you see you must talk it, and I mean you cheche. You wait for your safety. If you see don't keep it. You must call to report it. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crimes for all of us. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making.
Hello. I want to talk about violence. More violence is indiscriminate. It can happen for any reason and to anyone. Until we do something to stop the surge of vigilante-side justice in this country, none of us will be safe. My Liberia is Liberia of hope. In my Liberia, it is possible. Violence is not part of my Liberia. Violence leads to property damage, injury, or even death, as we are seeing recent months in several parts of Liberia, including Monrovia. Talk to people in your community about violence. Stand up against mob justice. Be a community hero. Liberia is all that we have. We must all unite to uphold the rule of law. This is Old Man Sam Sion, your community crime fighting partner. Thanks for listening. This is Old Man Sam Sion.
Thank you, Old Man Sam Sion. Hilton Wulajidu from Sano. Welcome, Junior. Venetia's Bar, welcome. Ansu Famule is joining tonight. JNB Son, welcome to the show. City Geeks, it's good having you from Canada tonight. Abu Bakr Sharif, welcome to the show. Nathan Jabadia, welcome to the show. Mohammed Balo, it's good having you. Vivian Kafa, welcome to the show. Clady Allison, it's good having you on tonight. Fatou Sharif, J. Augustus Help, William W. Wulu, thank you, all of you, and welcome to the show. Sharon Barney has joined us. Melvin D. Brown is following, as usual, from Claratown, District 14. Fomanien has joined the show. Jones Sumo, Prince Corley, John Towdy are also following the show tonight. CDC Grand Cha is joining from Wiyala. Ralph Cooper from Colorado. If the U.S. Musa Sharif from New Georgia. Verma McIntosh Clark is following from Norway tonight. J. Edwin Saki has joined us. Stephen Fowler Jr. is following. J. Niels Kwengba has joined us. Marka Flomo, Marka J. Momo is joining the show. Mado Gut Lahun is joining as well. Manny Ma has joined us tonight. Okay, Mado is joining from Kennyman City. It's good to have all of you joining the show tonight. We have a lot to talk about. You see, this document, we received this document today from the court, from the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court has placed a stay order on the eviction or demolition exercise at the 72nd Barracks because one of the victims took the case to court. And so this is the document. It came late, so we didn't have the time to really go through it. But we have to inform you that the demolition exercise, as you can see, there's a petitioner's petition for writ of prohibition. And then the stay order is issued just right on the page. There's the petitioner's petition. And then you come here, you see the stay order from the Supreme Court. Right here, all of that. So this is it. But what I need you to know is I have to play you this recording first of the victim who went to court, and then we can move into our other conversations. I have to play you the victim. Yes. Okay. So listen to her story.
About 500,000 for the construction of United States.
Owner of this Help Yourselves Entertainment Center.
Yes.
How's she feeling? I mean, with the news about your place.
You know, I shocked. I'm not. Because all the time the parade been dropping letter in the parade. All the time they have been dropping letter in the parade. I never wanted come and drop one note here. But I was surprised they just came and said they need a front view. They cannot be to the back and we to the front.
Oh.
Yes. That's the reason why they're taking us. But then I spent about 500,000 for the construction of United States. 500,000. I just completed the place. 500,000. They say 40 days.
Did they give you reason? I mean, for
the reason they say they need a front view. They are the army people. They cannot be to the back and we to the front.
Did they show you any legal people that this land is part and parcel of theirs?
No legal people. The people like the place they got thief from the 1975. The barrack king here 1985.
Okay.
The king in 1985 they met the people here. But the soldier is telling us that they don't want to know the army honor. And then government is not, we're not running junta government. Yeah, the army honor but local army.
We're working with the rule of law.
So is there any way that you guys can dialogue? Maybe have you reached out to them and say, okay, let's dialogue and see.
Maybe you guys can put a ship this morning. We've been calling people, we've been talking to all of people that maybe we can come up with something. But then everybody will go to the same court. We know we got to we should go to the court. So we went to the Supreme Court yesterday. Because everybody came lock my place yesterday. No way for anybody to enter the put a bar wire to the door.
What the news you getting from the court?
The court yesterday they filed in prorogation. Then now we carry to defense. We carry to defense yesterday the person was speaking. There was no way for to work. So then the people there the money they saying that the men are supposed to receive their men is not there. So they said they're waiting till the men can come. The army said they need a front view.
So have you been able to reach out to maybe the senators of Mosrado County in St. Joseph and
they came last week Tuesday. Just wait quick. They said that they are armed and how they can work.
Did they give you any extra time?
No time.
This is a huge investment.
No time.
Yeah. And then,
so the barbed wire that is placed around the facility, who did it?
That the soldier, the air came around 4 o'clock in the morning with mobile. With mass man.
This morning?
And one AK, no. On the 20th. 4 o'clock in the morning on the 20th. We saw mass man with new AK. Mass man with new AK.
That's totally outside the rule of law.
We saw mass man with new AK.
But why do you think AFS, it should be handled through the court? I think the court.
AFS said they are soldiers. They can how they can do things. They are soldier people that how they can take things. They say soldier men don't take things like they take a hash. They say they are soldiers. And they need a front view. They cannot be to the back and we to the front.
Has he been able to meet any authority from the national defense?
People want to defend yesterday. No, that they read.
Okay, so I think you got a gist of the entire incident. The story is told that those of you who've been around for long, you may be familiar with this story about the 72nd Barracks, where there was a serious scuffle between the CDC Youth League. I remember very well. At the time, Jefferson Koju was Secretary General, was youth chair of the CDC, versus the Ministry of National Defense. At the time, Brandon Samuka was Minister of National Defense. They attempted to claim their property along with other properties that did not belong to the government then. And so, but the people resisted, heavily backed by the opposition CDC, then especially the Youth League, like I said. And so they didn't succeed. At the end, they did not succeed in claiming the properties belonging to other people. And so the CDC was in power, got elected, and fast forward, the CDC is out. Now the military, the army has gone back to say, oh, we will need our property. The people say, okay, no problem, you can take your property. But in the process of reclaiming the property, the army has moved to claim additional properties of owners, of individuals who've been occupying that property prior to or even before the barracks were established in 1985. Even before the barracks were established. And so the folks have decided to go to court. The court on yesterday issued a prohibition on the demolition, because I'm told they've given the people 14 days to leave and all of that. And if the folks do not leave, they're going to demolish the place and all kinds of stuff. This is the military acting. The military people say they're not supposed to be in court, they're not supposed to go to court, they're not supposed to operate. They don't operate under the rule of law. They operate under their own laws. That's what they told the people. They have their own laws, they operate under their military laws and not our constitution. So they're moving and barricaded the place with barbed wire and all of that. And so this lady decided to go to the court. The owner of the property, decided to go to court. And you see the cases between Robert T. Bobo, Abraham G. Bobo, Francis Mosori, and Jackson J.P., the city of Prince William County are the petitioners versus retired Brigadier General Geraldine George, Minister of National Defense, Republic of Liberia, Dr. Augustine T. Lamine, Deputy Minister for Administration, Ministry of National Defense, and everybody, Spencer Liko, General Davidson Fayard, Fuller, So this is still the prohibition, inviting them and all of that, but nobody has signed for. The military folks say they cannot sign for the document that comes from the court. So they didn't sign. Up to now, they have not signed for the document. But here's my thing, briefly. You see, we can't, I don't know. And I will keep using this word until the UP government leaves power. Every time we sit there and talk about the illiteracy, the level of illiteracy we found amongst our government officials, people who claim to go to school or to have gone to school, people who claim to know everything, society will never grow if we continue to disrespect the rule of law. Society will never, no society grows, No society progresses. No society develops in the absence or with lack of respect for the rule of law. How do you want your country to develop, to grow? How do you want to sell or market a reputation of your country out there when you government officials do not respect or are not respecting the laws, the systems that are in place? How do you feel sitting and you see people in other places, in other countries, watching this video or listening to people talking about the military just taking arbitrary action, and you feel so proud? We found too much pleasure in guns. We see guns as our shelter. Daniel Zanga, you are Minister of Defense. Where is Brandon Samuka was Minister of Defense? Where is he? Daniel Zanga was Minister of Defense. Where is he today? It should say to you that ministers of defense will come and go. And sincerely, I don't know. And I don't think, and I don't want to believe, and I'm not even too sure I will ever believe that the Minister of Defense is aware of the implementation or the enforcement of that thing. Meaning the extension, the inclusion of not enforcement, but the inclusion of private properties into their enforcement metric. And that's why I've told the folks, let's wait for the Ministry of Defense to receive the petition from the court and see what their actions will be. The people can say power and money and other things can change people. But the Geraldine George that I don't want to think that she may be in the know, or she may have been in the know, that the enforcement that they want to carry out to claim their property, which is their legal right to claim their own property, they included other people's private properties within the reclaiming exercise. I don't want to think that she may be in the know. I don't know proof for anywhere, but I too still do not want to think that they knowingly send armed men to go and claim the properties of private properties of individuals. I don't want to think so. So probably some of these people say, you know what I mean? We'll go in there and we'll bring the engineering department, anything they tell us that what we'll do, and we are just going to clean properties. Because even if you are the government, the law gives the government legal ways and means to clean private properties. The law is a go in there, arbitrarily take people's properties, arbitrarily seize people's properties. The law didn't say that. Even if you want to use eminent domain to claim a property that does not belong to the state, there is a civilized and literal mean, there is a civilized means to get it, to do it. You can take guns, tar people's faces, the Taliban's and gangsters. Who knows what they do? You told gangsters and rebels and place them and Burkinabe rebels and place them in AFL uniform and carry them 72nd to clean the intimidate, harass the people. What is that? What is that? When do we grow into civilization? When do we develop into exercising or engaging civilians in a civilized manner? This is not the police people in army you are engaging. These are not immigration officers in arms you are engaging. These are civilians. You can be engaging civilians like you are engaging, especially civilians that are not resisting. You claiming your property. But if you want, and between me, I will say this. the explanation given by the military to those people, in my mind, it makes a lot of sense. That they need the front view of the properties. Because they can be at the back view, then people covering up, covering the barracks. I mean, you know, it makes a lot of sense. But there's a way to do it. You don't use lawless means to claim people's private properties. If you went to and you took your engineers and they did survey of the place, which in my mind, I think the court should authorize a survey of the place, and let's establish the meets and bounds to know where the property is. I mean, where where the military property begins and where it ends. When we establish that, then the military can present their new design of the barracks they want to build down there. And if this, for example, help yourself entertainment center falls within their plan, then they can negotiate with the owners of the property for relocation. When you do that, you don't take anything away from you. When you do that, it takes nothing away from you. In fact, it increases your reputation. It increases your maturity level. A sense of picture out there that the army will have is really a force for good. But as we speak, with this action, there's nothing about your action that is projecting you to be a force for good. There's nothing about your action that is projecting you to be a force for good. A force for good does not arbitrarily seize people's property and intimidate them over it. A force for good does not threaten people's livelihoods. A force for good does not destroy people's investment and disregard their pains, their angers that they go through. People took their high-end monies and invested in their to develop their private businesses. And a force for good is arbitrarily seizing their properties without any regard to humanity. And you say the force for good? No. A force for good is supposed to have a deep sense of humor. That's what a force for good will do. You can terrorize the people, use your guns and marksmen. There's some hundreds of marksmen, heavily armed, to intimidate the people. And you call yourself a force for good? The area has been able to build a reputation for herself. Liberians, the only security institution in this country that Liberians respect is the military. Don't join the police. Don't start doing things that will force Liberians to start seeing the military like the police. Don't do that. And Geraldine George, the Minister of Defense, like I said before, I'm saying again, I don't know you to be that person. I don't want to believe that you were in a know, that you authorized the military men to dress in marks and assign them brand new AK-47 and all of that to go there and claim people's properties that do not belong to the military. I'm not too sure. I would never believe it if anybody tells me that, unless you yourself tell me, say, yeah, I did it, I authorized it. But if anybody tells me that you were in a know and you did that, I will never believe it. I'm speaking to you, Minister Josh. This is the writ from the court. In case you are not in the know, there is a writ of prohibition from the Supreme Court issued by the Justice in Chamber, James Eto Howard Wodo Cody. It was issued on the 26th. This petition was filed on the 26th. And it's here. So I don't want to believe that you're not in the know. In case you are, these are the people's documents. The warranted deed Administrator D, affidavit, and power of Anthony, everything here. The people got legal documents that all the courts, the public court, everything, they've all verified these documents to be legitimate. This is a transfer deed. Republic of Liberia transfer deed. Everything. So if you want to reclaim your property, you negotiate with the people. These are the people's legal documents. Everything, right? All the deeds, all the boundaries. You see all the diagrams? All the diagrams here. All the diagrams, everything here to establish the means and bounds of the properties, the property belonging to the military and that belongs to the other private citizens. That did that been running or shop down there for all those years. She invested her money in that property. And he said to hell with you, whether that 100,000 or 200,000, 300,000 dollars, I don't care. Go. We will claim it with no sense of humor to come to think about it. This is not a Nigerian we're talking about. This is not a Guinean. And even if it was a Guinean, that Guinean or Nigeria is entitled to right. You can be using arbitrary means, using terroristic posture, gangsterism to claim people's property, and you think it's all good because you got a gun and you're in the military. You can do that. So, Madam Minister, you have to take charge. I'm informing you that Brigadier General, what you call him, Fuller, you guys have to take charge and look into this matter and see and establish, Commission of Sovereign, establish your own means and bounds, and then negotiate with those Liberians. They are Liberians. You all are ministers and deputy ministers, but you are no better than them. They invested their monies. They are entitled to their investment. You can destroy it. You can destroy it or claim it within 14 days. And you destroy somebody's investment because you have power. This should not happen under your watch, especially you, Madam Minister. Even going to court, but apparently you were not even in the know. And they didn't have access to you, or they couldn't have access to you. And their investment is at risk. The risk losing over $400,000 investment in their own country. So they had to run to the court. This presents a perfect space for you to negotiate with those people. They are not dogs, and they should not be treated as one. It's not late to negotiate. This is just an easy matter. I don't know why our officials can make things so difficult. Easy matter. Civilized way to engage. Some people just make it so complicated, like they don't have a way out or an alternative to address or solve. Our leaders hate to solve problems in this country. Our leaders hate to dialogue. Our leaders hate to negotiate. We always love to show power, prove strength. Do you know how many years we've been showing power and proving strength and influence and authority in this country? Still, the country still dirty and stink and nasty looking at it. It can't develop. You know how long people have shown power in this country? You know how many decades people have abused power in this country? And then the country is still dirty, or not developed, filthy. And we are still not gaining our senses. We are still moving in the same direction of exercising unnecessary power, chest beating, unnecessary show beating, and then unnecessary chest beating and all of that. Showmanship that will benefit us nothing tomorrow. All these things are vanity. Power will leave you. You become an ordinary civilian tomorrow. What do you do with your life after you should have injured, hurt people? That's why when some of these people leave government, They run away to go to America and Ghana and Europe to live there. They cannot even stay in their own countries to live because of the way they behave when they were in power, the way they treated people while in power. That's why as soon as they leave government, they cheat. If the America chasing them back now, they're settling in Europe and Ghana and Nigeria. Because the way we live with our people. Temporary power. They gave you power, they made you minister or deputy minister or special assistant. You got that position for 6 years. There's no guarantee that you have it for 6 years. Because the president appointed you. He could dismiss you anytime. So, but the worst case or the best case, you say you have that job for 6 years. Add 6 years to your age. You want to use a temporary job to hurt, to injure, to destroy other people? And when you leave, you cannot even look in the face of those who you've destroyed already? But we'll come back and sing reconciliation. We'll come back and cry justice. We'll come back and cry lack of development. Who's going to support you in your developmental drive when you are hurting everybody and compelling them, forcing them to fight you? Tomorrow, when the people criticize you, say, oh, but the people don't like good things. Because the manner and form in which you're doing that. I mean, so I thought to mention this. It was important because this is human interest. We needed to talk about it. But like I said, we'll not stop talking about this thing until justice is given to these people. They deserve justice. They deserve to own their investment or relocate their investment. People build and invested in their private property. If you can negotiate with them to claim it, and you compensate them, they relocate their investment to go make money. The person they're talking about creating 70,000 jobs. These are some of the jobs he's talking about. That lady invested all her money. She employed people. She was not working for herself. She had people over 15 persons working for her. Just at that place. Who was paying them? That different ministry were paying them? That the business was paying them? They have family. Because of that, their families, relatives were depending on them. Oh, I'm going to work. Oh, they can pay the school fees of their kids. Yes. And you take it away because you are in power and you have guns. You can do that because you're in power and you have guns. So, okay, so let's go to so yesterday Joe Burger was at the legislature to talk to you, to report to you through your representatives. And he had this to say. So this is Burger's statement. And like I said, we are focusing on the first paragraph, the introductory part of the statement. Yeah, so that's what Joe Burger had to say. He said, I'm not going through all the protocol and greeting you. You gather in fulfillment of Article 58 of the Liberian Constitution, blah, 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 blah. To report on the condition of the economy and the legislative agenda for the year ahead. said this annual message reviews our progress in the second year of this administration and sets forth our priorities for 2026. Let's hear and set forth our priorities for 2026. It reflects our commitment to reform, accountability, and results that improve the lives of our people. Mr. Speaker and honorable members of the legislature, we are painfully reminded. Every word that is mentioned in this, I'm going to place emphasis on it. Okay, no problem, Sidiki Dollar, no problem. No problem. When I announce the number, just okay, no problem. Mr. Speaker and honorable members of the legislature, we are painfully reminded again of last year's arson attack on the Capitol building. Of last year's arson attack. This is the president. We are painfully reminded again of last year's arson attack on the Capitol building. This attack on our symbol of democracy has forced us for the second year to meet in this courtyard instead of the historic chamber. Then he comes to say the legal process to bring those responsible for this heinous act is still ongoing. If I now read it, I'm going to ask Baras a question in a very strong way. Listen to this old man. He says, let me read again. He said, Mr. Speaker and honorable members of the legislature, we are painfully reminded again of last year's arson attack, on, just start calling my phone, man. Where is it? Remember, you know I want to read this thing. Look at the test. The man sending me test. So the man, he knows I'm on the radio. He's listening to the show. Then he calling me. Then I not answer. Then he sent test. He said, I'm following you. Oh, man, yeah, so he said, wow, yeah, okay. He said, he said, we are painfully reminded again of last year's arson attack on the Capitol building. Meaning this is a conclusion. The president has told the legislature as a reminder that the attack on the building was arson. That's what he said last year when he went there. He said people burn the building and those who do will be arrested and prosecuted. And they arrested people and they are prosecuting people. I mean, Baga believe that those people burn the building. Last year he said the whole country criticized him, including lawyers. This year, the old man goes back to the legislature in arrogance and disrespect for the rule of law, a judicial process that is before the court, and decide to be reckless and careless and irresponsible in his utterances before the legislature. If I were in that building, I was going to call Joe Baga to order. If I was down there as a lawmaker, I was going to call Joe Baga to order. I was going to order, Mr. Speaker. We were going to call him to order. If I were a lawmaker sitting in that building, Baga mentioned the rubbish, I was going to put my hand and say, order, Mr. Speaker, and I was not going to be constitutionally wrong. Joe Baga was totally out of order. And my order would have been, this matter is alleged. It's a matter that is before the court. The government has said she has preponderance of evidence. They go to court, they say they don't trust their own juror that they selected. How dare the president comes here and not even alleging or using allege, but instead concluding that the matter at Capitol building or the attack on the building was arson? According to order, we are going to correct the president right there. If I were a lawmaker, I was going to call Joe Barack to order. I'm serious about it. And if they don't, people can say, oh, they don't let the issue. But you see, they don't know they can issue. Even if you not recognize the man, they feel like man call the person to order. They don't finish eating a show in Gonza. He won't know again in Gonza. You see the whole show, the news carry the next day. You have politicians, opposition politicians. You have to think outside the box. You have to think critically. So there are some who may not be the brave ones. But you see, just stand down there, Joe Barack go tell the rubbish, then you go read the rubbish, then you sit down there lie. Eh? How the hell legal process will be going on? The president go say the case that arson. When the courts, the lawyers, everybody, even the prosecutors in the court, they say allege. The president goes and refuses to use the word allege in his State of the Nation address. Everybody said nobody could call Joe Barack to order. I see people running around with 70,000 jobs and 70,000 jobs and educating how many thousand schools and all of that. This is the biggest news from Joe Barack's rubbish he delivered yesterday called in State of the Nation address. And you're running beyond 70,000 jobs. Joe Barack went and said, Joe Barack undermined a whole legal process. Desecrating the sacredness of the legislature. This is exactly what Joe Barack did yesterday. He even disrespected all of you seated before him. Joe Barack pissed. He pee on due process yesterday in the legislature, right before 103 men and women. He pee on due process. And I see nobody talking about that. I see nobody talking about that. Everybody running beyond 70,000 jobs and 70,000 jobs. Who in the world you know that Joseph Barack is a liar? But this is the biggest disappointment. The biggest takeaway. The president has told you that even though the matter before court, but me, that asshole, for Nandi Kofa, this is your brain are beating. That's why he told you yesterday. He told the world yesterday. For the second time. And you're running beyond, they cannot know, somebody can say no entity, no issues. Nowhere in my life, I will go argue Barack tell me last year they created 70,000 short-term and medium-term Jordan and go start running beyond that kind of rubbish. No. The important thing is when you responding, that's what I'm not. That's why you say I didn't bother talking about CDC response here today. Because I don't want to talk against someone who hate me or who hate my mouth in CDC, they will get fair move. So I won't ignore it. Because when you responding to the president, so now you don't have to respond to everything he say. When I say respond, it means you must respond to everything he mentioned in the statement. Some of the things Joe Barack mentioned in that statement are irrelevant. It did not require CDC's response. Let's be frank. Who told you because Barack talk about healthcare so you must respond to healthcare? The people that care like pregnant women and husband, you know that they gotta pay money. If it good, 2029 they will vote for him back. But there are critical issues that are tied to reconciliation and tied to our peace process that could destroy this country's peace or weaken the foundation of our peace. The rule of law. From day one, the executive has never respected the rule of law in the judicial process. From the police to the process of gathering evidence, people complain of torture to extract information from them. From the start of this case, the entire government has never respected due process. And it is continuing now. It is on record in the legislature. But let me read it. Let me complete what he said. After he said, the attack on the symbol of democracy has forced us for the second time or the second year to meet in the Scotia instead of the historic chamber. He says the legal process to bring those responsible for this heinous act is still ongoing. You know the legal process is ongoing. What kind of stupidity, what kind of contradiction is this? What kind of irony is this? Look at the structure of the speech. And these are the people who say the notebook. My soul integrate cannot. You conclude in a serious speech written by the president that he wrote for the president to read. You render a conclusion in a legal matter and comes in the next paragraph to say the legal process is ongoing. They may my jail laws I catch Prince, I put him in jail. The legal process ongoing. What kind of sense in that nonsense? That this is what Joe Baraka is saying. Oh, I just signed a yao that plum that somebody pin my plum. I went in the community, I arrested Giombo and Peter. I put them in jail. So I call the police to come investigate what he fallen from him, what kind of sound we hear in the tree, what are plum, what are rat. What kind of hey, that makes sense of that thing. They put the politics aside. Let's see whether the structure of this speech makes any sense. Incoherent. Completely incoherent. Okay, yeah, let me read it again. I tell you the only thing, the most important thing in the speech, catch it, take it away from that speech I hear. Is told yesterday, you know I didn't come to work. I needed to take my time. The first in the speech ended, the time ended. I was in school. Yeah? So I didn't have time to even read the speech. You can't come and waste my time beyond Joseph Boga reading Joseph Boga's whole speech on the radio. But I go now read Boga's speech on the radio. Then I'm feeling, I start talking. No, I'm not coming to that craziness. He said, I read Boga's whole speech on the radio. No, I said I'll read a speech tomorrow and see what I can catch from in it. So I took my time today reading the speech, going through it. And the only serious thing I see here, because some of us, we respect the rule of law. We know the impact. We know the impact. We know the strength of having a strong judicial system. Read the U.S. State Department report, latest report on Liberia's security sector. I'm referring to the U.S. State Department security review on Liberia. How they describe our justice, our judiciary. They say our judiciary is corrupt and ineffective. That's what they say. The U.S. government has described our judiciary as corrupt and ineffective. That is an insult to the entire bar association in Liberia. This should be concerning to all lawyers that our traditional partner would describe our judiciary as corrupt and ineffective. Then, Joe Baraka comes to deliver. Just 2 weeks ago, they issued that statement. After 2 weeks, Joe Baraka comes to deliver his State of the Nation address, and he refused to recognize that a legal process or a matter is in court. He decides to go into the nitty-gritty of the case, enter the detail of the case, concluding again. The case is concluding in his statement that the case is an assault. And that legal process ongoing. No, Baraka, that's stupid. It doesn't make sense. You can't conclude on a matter that is still in court. But the president has a buffoon, a dummy called Buju Ben Keita as his legal advisor. They didn't see this speech. They didn't read this portion. The president has another irresponsible and corrupt one called Oswald Tuer as justice minister. He didn't read his speech. If Oswald Tuer goes to teach law at the law school, and his law school student raise his or her hand asking this question, Mr. Minister, was this statement necessary, legally necessary? This conclusion? All of you sat there and allowed the president. Kofi Woods is the Kofi Woods is the national security advisor to the president, and then he is a lawyer. My sister Kula, a lawyer, presidential press secretary, and a lawyer, whom I have a deep sense of respect for. Cornelia Cry, a lawyer, smart. I've just named 5 lawyers in the president's office. And of the 5 lawyers, I can sit there and tell you I trust TD. When it comes to that legal reason, I'll tell you I trust TD. So even if we vote, it means TD all of 5, even if everybody read and they don't vote, it means I still believe that TD all of 5 would have proffered a better legal advice to the president in terms of structuring the speech or using or leave or excluding the alleged. A matter can be in court. A matter is being prosecuted by the state and the head of state. The matter is being prosecuted by the state, or the state is prosecuting a case. Then the head of the state is concluding already that it is an assault, that the allegation against those individuals is true. What is left for the court to do? Then you come and say the matter is before the court. You have already rendered judgment, and you before the court to do what? And you think the court will rule something contradicting what you have indicated in your State of the Nation address? Somebody asked me, what are the TD lawyers that you respect? No, I just need 5. I need 5 lawyers, right? The Minister of Justice, the legal advisor to the president, Buju Keita, Kula Fofana, Cornelia Cry, and Kofi Woods. 5 lawyers. If you tell me vote for the best of the TD and the best TD, I'll vote for Kula, I'll vote for Cornelia Cry, I'll vote for Kofi Woods. I can't go for the Oswald Tuer and Buju Ben. I can't go for them. And the reason, if you ask me more, I'll tell you, Buju Ben and Kula have rendered legal. I mean, Buju Ben and Oswald Tuer have rendered legal opinions that have been deemed fraudulent, that were marred by controversies. The other TD do not have any legal opinion that we can reference that were marred by controversies. It was the legal advice. I mean, the justice minister issued the first opinion issue was on the matter between the Ministry of Transport and Traffic Management. The justice minister saw a legal contract between the government of Liberia and John Ubuti company name, and he agreed. He agreed to track a legal contract that was existing between Transport Ministry and Ubuti company to accommodate Liberia Traffic Management. That was the first thing he did. Today, where are we? The Minister of Transport and the police people, they stay fighting. 2 days ago, the Minister of Transport issued a warning that we should not honor or do business with anybody in the country besides, we should not register our car, our driver license, or do anything with anybody besides transport. 2 days ago, he issued it. I have that recording. I'll play it tomorrow. We'll do show on it tomorrow. The Minister of Transport issued that. When the Justice Minister said the contract is illegal. The same Justice Minister, the Supreme Court ruled against the majority bloc, and the ruling was legally clear that their action or all actions taken in the John Chima were ultra virus. The Justice Minister wrote his opinion and say the Supreme Court say the Supreme Court mean the thing Roger Kunen did were good, were legal. To the extent we have to go back to Supreme Court to file a bill of information, and they had to ask them to interpret what they meant, and they interpreted what they meant, and the Justice Minister's opinion was different. The Supreme Court say this is what we meant. That all the things that you do is that they were not illegal. The Senate, the Minister of Justice misled the Senate according to them because they said they relied their decision to work with Rachel Kuhn majority bloc on the basis of the legal opinion that was rendered by the Minister of Justice. The country almost went into chaos because of that opinion rendered by Oswald Tuwe. I can't trust him. Buju Ben Keita took phone and called the city solicitor and instructed him to drop a case between two private citizens, Prophet Key and Judy Annie, after he caused Judy Annie all on the she go to court. Buju Ben Keita go call press conference, stand to Kula Fofana press conference, and say, as the legal advisor, yes, the rule I play. I called the city solicitor and asked him whether he's aware that there is a KAK Act that decriminalizes speech and other related offenses. He said if he was aware, then I told him to go and take the law and read the law. If you read the law, you should drop all charges against Prophet Key. That you're supposed to tell city solicitor to drop charges against somebody in a case involving two private citizens. Legal advisor to president takes phone and call city solicitor and say drop case between two private citizens. Direct interference from the executive to the judiciary. A sound legal-minded person will not do that. And then goes to the public and say, I did it. He go complain himself. He said, I interfere behind the scene in the judiciary. Then I go to Kula Fofana press conference. Then I complain myself, I report them myself. Meaning he thought he had done something good. Ignorance. 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 So I can't vouch for the Justice Minister and the legal advisor to the president. Kofi, Cornelius, and Kula, I can do it. And they are better, meaning they are far better than those two people who are supposed to be better than the three I just referenced. So you have 5 lawyers in the president's office. That's the point. And those 5 lawyers cannot tell me that they did not see the speech or they didn't preview the speech. The presidential press, I'm aware that the presidential press secretary sits in that room for the final printing of the president's speech. The legal advisor views the president's speech. The national security advisor views the president's speech, especially on the legal and security aspect. He views them, or he is supposed to view them. The Minister of Justice, obviously. So how come all those 5 persons? I can't speak too much to the involvement of the Deputy Minister of State for administration, but with a level of influence and all of that, I want to assume that she may have viewed, or she may have had an opportunity to preview if she wanted to. 5 lawyers sit around the president, and the president read this disjointed, this disorganized, incoherent statement, concluding on a matter that is before the court, that it is an arson. And then comes down to contradict himself and say the legal process is to bring those responsible for this heinous act is still ongoing. Then what the hell you went and say that arson? Well, you know it's still ongoing. I, however, assure every Liberian that my administration is pursuing this matter with resolve and impartiality. Where's the impartiality? Where's the impartiality here? I mean, where's the partiality here? Where is the partiality? You are already impartial. You've selected 4 lawmakers amongst all the other people, all the other lawmakers. They said they won't bring the bidding. From the first day you went, the bidding got bring, you went there. You were partial enough. You were partial. You took all the members from the majority bloc side. You said they're not in the know. All those he arrested, all the lawmakers he arrested and called him for questioning, well, they all came from the minority bloc. That was partiality. That was partiality, Bwaka. So when people say your whole speech is just la, insincerity, inaccuracy, and just incoherent, nothing is corroborating here. So la, disjointed, disorganized. This is the weakest, the most disorganized, the most reckless, the most careless speech or State of the Nation address that has ever been delivered by a president. I thought last year was worse. This year is dirty. It just scatter. Just taking and putting inside and chunking on. So that one careless person. And you're supposed to be president for our country with 50 years experience in public service. He does not even know that you're supposed to ask your audience to be seated for you to read, for you to deliver your State of the Nation address. You were vice president for 12 years. You've been president for 2 years. Running into your 3rd year. And you asking your protocol officer whether whether you should ask your audience to sit down for you to talk. So you spoke for almost 1 hour 30 minutes. So you expected that your audience will be standing for 1 hour 30 minutes for you to deliver your State of the Nation address, and you say you got experience. Where's the experience? 12 years as vice president, you were always at the SONA. And you asking Anthony whether you should ask your audience to sit down. A conventionally accepted protocol. You don't know. Why should tell them? And if Anthony has said no problem, go ahead for it. Start just read, they will sit down. That old man was going to go ahead and start reading. The people are going to sit down by themselves. But they say they may get experience. Hey, go. That Joey is supposed to do that to you. Hey. If that George Weah was going to do that thing, asking the protocol whether he should ask his audience to sit down or to be seated for him to deliver his SONA. Yeah. Anyway, let me take Joey from Imagine talking. We are already very about this. Imagine that George Weah had gone to that podium and asking Tony whether he should ask his audience to sit. Joe Barker, your audience is supposed to be seated for you to deliver your SONA. It is a tradition. You don't know it? You are 12 years in that place as vice president and president of the Senate, presiding over the Senate. You went through the protocol for 12 years. For the past 2 years, you went through the protocol. And you are asking whether you should ask your audience to be seated. But you thought they will say they may get experience. We told your age, they're not experience. When we say age, they're not experience, you can get vexed. They'll say, we respect the papi. And somebody said, they're not all the old men, not every old person get wisdom. So suppose somebody who was stupid from a childhood time and they grew up in their old age, you expect them to be having wisdom because they age? No. That person grew up in stupidity or dullness. Not referring to Baka now. Well, if somebody was stupid from childhood and the person grew up and we old, you expect the person to get sense. Where the sense coming from? So I believe Charles Bumskin, may his soul rest in peace. Because the Bumskin said, y'all leave us with the experience. What experience? Because all the years they made in government, what was he doing? We have to consider the role he was playing to calculate or arrive or conclude at a point to determine that his experience or to determine his experience. They mentor he was 12 years, he was vice president. He was on an old car pact. I mean, he didn't gain any experience, any public service experience. Because he himself said he was an old car pack. And then his supporters further justify that the vice presidency is a ceremonial position. A ceremonial position means they might not doing nothing. So my yeah, okay, go so okay. It depends what they send you. And when they send you, it depends what you do there, your performance there. That's how your experience grow. So where's the experience? That the man does not even know that he's supposed to ask his audience to sit down. But we'll pass that stage. We say enough to win the election. 20,000 he won't be not listening to all. Bwaga won election. So we'll pass that stage. That one, a campaign message, will pass that stage. You didn't buy it. But the fact that he's proving today that he does not have the kind of experience that all of you thought he had. And you didn't listen. A few of you did not listen. Today you are seeing it. To the extent that a president who is 81 years old going to 82nd year will not know that he is supposed to ask his audience to be seated as he delivers his State of the Nation address or a speech. Is that the kind of experience you want us to celebrate? A president who will go to the Capitol building, an incident occurred, and then he says, he concludes without hearing. He concludes without hearing that the matter is theft or assault. And then he goes back. At the time, it was not in court. He said it was assault. The matter is in court. Then the old man still goes to the legislature to tell the legislature that assault, they bring the case in court. Then he finished telling them that it is assault. Then he comes out and say, we are investigating. What can I say? No. Hello. Let's make sense of all of that thing. Let's make sense of all of this. I need all of you, those of you in the diaspora, those of you in Liberia, I won't open the telephone now. Y'all call me and tell me what kind of sense that thing making. Let's see how it makes sense. You can't say that assault meaning the men burned the place. You finish concluding that the place got burnt. Then you come back in your next paragraph with a contradiction, an inherent contradiction by saying the matter is being investigated. Honor our jurisprudence, the alleged is presumed innocent until proven guilty. So when you accuse somebody of burning Capitol building, that's alleged arson. Especially so when the matter is being prosecuted by the state. And the state is not even presenting evidence. The state is running all around. Now they have already disbanded the jury panel and all of that. The jury panel is managed by the Ministry of Justice. Meaning the Ministry of Justice does the selection, the vetting, the training, the orientation, everything. The Ministry of Justice manages the jury panel. So if the government can be telling you the people we selected, we not trust them, or the people the court selected, we not trust them, then who the government trusts now? That's why I said that is, if that in itself is a validation from the State Department report that our justice system or our judiciary is corrupt and ineffective. Because for the judiciary system to vet and to recruit and vet and train and orientate jurors to the system, the state comes, the jurors are selected, the state goes back to the same justice system, judiciary, and say, we not trust these jurors that were selected through the judiciary system. So you change all of them. What does it say? It validates the report from the US State Department that our judiciary is corrupt and ineffective. Because the state is saying we not trust the selection process. We not trust the people that were selected by the judiciary or trained by them. That was an insult to the judiciary. But apparently nobody in the judiciary said gets sense, because even the Chief Justice is a mess and a disgrace. So no wonder why. That was an insult to the integrity and the intelligence of a system that vetted. When a system vets you and sends you out, and you are rejected on grounds that they don't trust the system that selected you, that is an insult to the system. Our lawyers found nothing wrong with that. The Bar Association did not issue one statement that the state prosecuting a case publicly on the record in court say the system, the judiciary system, the system that was used to select, to vet and train and orientate jurors, we don't trust it. The Bar Association sat down and said nothing. And you think, and you want us, the ordinary citizens, to take anything in Liberia serious? When the Ministry of Justice say we not trust the judiciary system that vetted or selected the jurors. And I told you it was not the first time. The LDCC also is questioning of George Bako that is presiding over the Kamara, the Abdullah Kamara case versus the LDCC. The LDCC say we not trust the judge. You're changing. That everything happening in Joe Baka government. We not see the thing here anytime. We not see a job we are time. When the government will be prosecuting case, then the government say we not trust this. We not trust the jurors. The government say we not trust the other judge. You're changing. You're replacing. That Joe Baka time we see all these things. That the state is complaining that they don't trust the judiciary. They see judges they appointed. They see system that all the other presidents built and enhanced and sustained. They come and say they don't trust it. Because what? Two things. Either the system, either the people residing over the system are not allowing themselves to be arm twisted by the executive. So the executive say, no, we don't trust you. And me, I want to believe that's what's happening. Based on the kind of question the jurors were asking them and all of that, they said, no, we'll go in the case there, we'll continue the case. These jurors are already, the way they sound, they ask all the kind of critical question, obviously they will vote against us. So let's change them to delay the case. That's the only thing. Because I don't want to believe that a whole judiciary system will not have some good people there that can stand up to the executive and say, no, we will not do this. I know there are a few of them on the Supreme Court bench, but I will not call their names. They can stand up and say, no, don't be nothing to me. This is the law. We know what politics is. We know what the law is. We will not circumvent or allow ourselves to have to be arm twisted to hurt other people, decent people in society. They got them on the bench. They got some good lawyers, good judges sitting in the courts. I know some of them, good judges sitting in the courts. So the entire system is not rotting. The entire system is not dirty. But because this useless government wants to arm twist lawyers, and some of them, or most of them, are refusing. So they say, let's change the man. The other man recuse himself. The other won't happen. Oh, yeah. So Joe Baka, the only thing I took from this speech was your reckless behavior, your reckless display before on the Arson case. Also that, yeah. Then he concludes and says, our institutions will not be diminished. Our remains unshaken. And the progress we continue to make will not be thwarted. What kind of progress is making your justice system? What kind of progress is making? You have diminished all your institutions. They say will not be diminished. What are you waiting for? I said you won't bury them now. I said you won't bury the institutions now because you've diminished all of them. Which one get integrity again? Which one get reputation? Name one government entity that has integrity or reputation. Even Joe Barker said who presiding over the country, he not get integrity, he didn't get repetition, he didn't get rack to put rack he not get. Because he's corrupt, he steals a lot, he's vindictive, he's arrogant, he's disrespectful, he's lawless, he's careless, and extremely irresponsible in heading the charge of our country. So even he himself does not have integrity. Are you talking about diminishing institutions? Joe Barker got nothing. Listen to the president's speech. Listen to the speech. And even a non-lawyer will ask this question. Who wrote this speech? How is the president telling you here that he is painfully reminding you that last year's arson attack on Capitol building? Is this not a conclusion? Then the president comes back. No, he went further to emphasize that the attack. So he said 2 times. Arson attack, he said the attack on our symbol of democracy has forced us to for the second year to meet in the courtyard. He believes, he's convinced. Without any investigation. The time the investigation is ongoing, then he comes back or he goes back to Capitol building and re-emphasizes or reiterates that it is arson. Then after saying it is arson in the statement, in the first paragraph, he comes back down to the second paragraph and say the legal process to bring those responsible for the heinous act is still ongoing. Is still ongoing. Is still ongoing. But you see that attack, that arson attack. But investigation ongoing. But for that arson attack, now investigation ongoing. So who concluded that it is arson attack? Who concluded? And if the judiciary does not do anything, all of us now, we come and start discussing all the cases in the court. Because Joe Barker has opened it up. We can sit down now and say the case are ongoing in the Supreme Court. A bar, the person will be free. The person will not be free. The person will be guilty. The person will not be guilty. That the person do it. That the person do it. Now, the president said we can do it now. We can discuss the detail of the case in the public now. And even render a conclusion now on a case that is being heard before the court. Because Joe Barker said we can do it. He has set the stage. So any case now, in court I will discuss it. Any case in court I will discuss it. Because Joe Barker has set the stage. He has set the stage. So we are about to start discussing the cases in court. Unconcluded cases. Active cases. The president goes to the legislature. I'm disappointed in all the lawmakers. All. And you don't call Barker to order? And you don't call Barker to order? You see why having an independent legislature is good? When you take group of jokers, the Rachel Kuhn and Yomlikanga Lawrence, and transform them into puppet or Humpty Dumpty and place and give them a gavel as powerful and authoritative as a gavel is supposed to be. You take a gavel and give it to 2 puppets to preside over the legislature. And you have a puppet vice president, puppet speaker, puppet pro tem, and so puppets in your leadership. What do you expect from such a leadership? Do you even expect that an opposition lawmaker or a radical lawmaker will raise his or her hand to even call the president to order and be recognized? Do you even expect that? You don't expect that. But still, the record would have shown that I raised my hand and called for order. That day, if I were in that Capitol building yesterday as a lawmaker, that yesterday, maybe we'll go through investigations here. Because by every morning is a national security threat. That day we'll go into investigation. I want to stand and see, I raise my hand. All right, Mr. Speaker. I'm not going to be yelling, shouting, acting advanced, acting like I'm aggressive. I'm not doing all those things. I will lay back and raise my hand. All right, Mr. Speaker. I'm not causing nothing. Mr. Speaker, order. Mr. Speaker, order. They will recognize me. Baga will pause. And you recognize me. Because now Baga office down there. That's my office. That's not his home. He was not doing you a favor. He was performing his constitutional duty as required in Article 58. They say every year on the 4th working Monday, Article 58 is clear that every year on the 4th working Monday, Joe Baga or whosoever is president must carry his or herself down there to report on his activities for last year and present his legislative agenda for the ensuing year. It's in Article 58. It's a constitutional requirement. It's not optional. It's not optional. So I raise my hand. I will call Baga to order. You sit down there. Baga go put the rubbish in his speech. Your colleagues are being investigated. The case is not even concluded. Then all of you sat there and Baga concluded the case in his State of the Nation address, and none of you could have said anything or interrupted or injected something in it. And your colleagues, 4 of your colleagues are being prosecuted with many other families. Many other families are languishing beyond bars. And Joe Baga is concluding that those boys that are languishing beyond bars are already guilty. They are your constituents from different districts. They are your constituents from different districts. And you all sat there and Baga sounded that rubbish. Disrespect. Even in the face, in the presence of the 4 bench of the Supreme Court, in the presence of lawyers, in the presence of our diplomatic friends, foreign nationals, international representatives from international organizations, they were all there yesterday, and Baga concluded a major case just in a statement. When somebody go talk to me and say, my man say alleged. Let me hear one lawyer can tell me alleged. I'll reference it to the president's speech. My man, it is alleged. I'm not using any alleged on the radio here again. Anybody want to go to court, go to court. Anybody want to go to court. No day again I sit down and say it is alleged. So the government say Baga did not use alleged in his speech. His intention is different. I said, I will not use alleged. My own intention will be different too. We need to stop this thing. That's how we create bad leaders, and they fail us for 6 years. They come back to you and tell you they won't win election. They cannot even campaign to you on their achievements. Instead, they go and steal money and come and use the money to influence your vote. Because they have nothing tangibles. They have no tangibles to campaign on. So they go and steal money. You pay taxes, they steal it, bring it to you, buy rest, buy t-shirt, print at different paraphernalias, and then give it to you, and then influence your decision to vote for them. Because we make them bad. We make them corrupt. And we support that corrupt dealings. And we think it's all okay. We think it's all okay. It's that it will be that B-man now. Baga is not B-man. Baga is working for us. We implore him. We respect the office. But if we put somebody there who decides to disrespect the office, who decides to denigrate the office, hey, we have to call you out. We have to call you. The first man, the first protector and defender of our Constitution should be Joe. Joe should be the first man standing publicly in defense and protection of our Constitution and laws. He can't be the first and only man in the country disrespecting all of our laws, violating all of our laws. And you say, what you want? Serving ice cream? Giving honey juice to drink? I beg you, Akatumo gave you honey juice, not me. We can Akatumo go face honey juice for you, give you honey juice. Or feed you with ice cream. But I'm here. Just sitting on the man messing the country up, messing everything up. And you say, oh, the men are old men. If you know you're old, then you go sit down and farm. Don't come here and lecture me about being old. My pa old, he say down to you, you're not into politics, so nobody can put more in. Then you will go to more money and say you won't be representing and see what they will tell you. You put more in. Oh, yeah? But now he's sitting there, you see anybody putting more in, no? But then you will go tomorrow and say you won't be represented and see what they will not put more in. You will put more in. Maybe it's all the juniors say you're having 30 years, 40 years, go say all that information will come out. Eh? So he's not in peace. But then you get work on and say you won't be represented or somebody. Then you know what he's supposed to be in peace. So if you now want us talking about Joe Biden, tell him to go down to your house and sleep. Resign our position. Resign our job. Resign our job. Then nobody will talk to you. But what Biden did was disrespectful. He didn't, yeah, that was no sign of respect to the courts or legal process. It just say it will not get seen. Because imagine your partners just 2 weeks ago, your partners finished telling you that your justice, your judiciary system is corrupt and ineffective. Then you come and confirm it right before them because they were there. The U.S. Embassy has a delegation there. So the same people who just told you that your judicial system is corrupt and ineffective, you went right before them and confirmed how corrupt and ineffective your judicial system is by telling them that the case at Capitol Benin is awesome. Then you come out and say you are investigating. Investigating, but you concluded already that awesome. They say investigating. This is the same America who refused to even aid you. The police RG wrote, he said in one of his press conferences that he wrote their U.S. counterpart asking them for assistance to aid them in the investigation of the Capitol Benin case. And they declined, they refused. You know why they refused? They refused because the case was already compromised. Joe Biden had already issued a political conclusion or a political statement that it was an arson. What did the Americans are going to investigate? So the Americans can come and say, no, they're not arson. They say, oh, America could have the president lied. Then you join America into your local politics, into your domestic politics. You think they put in son? You think they put in son? You think they put stupid there? The boy is stupid, yo. The boy has sense. They can read between the lines. They will never interfere directly with your domestic politics. So an attempt for America to have agreed to aid you in the investigation, they were going to be playing direct role in your body politics because the president had already issued a political statement that the burning of the building was an arson. The president already started arresting people, the police already started arresting people, inviting people for conference, for investigation, for hearing, all kinds of things. They started beating lawmakers, stopping lawmakers' cars, putting them down from their cars and asking them to enter. To some extent, they started denying them access to their offices. You saw them using the drilling machine to destroy your county structure of Regicum on camera. The Americans saw all of that. Then Barack say no impartiality. He said you'll be impartial. How is this investigation impartial? Then you say the war is too stupid. Liberians are so stupid, they must believe you because you're a 2-year-old. Is impartial. No, Joe. This investigation is not impartial. This is a partial investigation. It's a partial trial. Heavily guided by hate, envy, and greed. And you say, oh, because the man age, the thing is, help me when somebody tell me say my man, the man old. I acknowledge he's old. And we respect those in their age, in their old age, who are holding no hate against anybody. Not people like Joe Barra who got hate for everybody. Yeah, my man, I have been here. I've finished reading your text. I have been here. My man, go read it in the chat room. I will respond to you. I'm not responding to you. As I'm not reading CDC statement, I'm talking about A. Go read it in the chat room. I'll respond to you. You want me to talk? All right. When I thought I go with you, so you leave me. I don't see you. I'm not featuring CDC statement yet. It didn't address the core issues. You know what I mean? This is the real issue we're talking about. This is the real issue. There are key members in the CDC who are compromised. That's why the whole thing. What did the CDC say today about what in the CDC statement about Joe Barra mention of the case? Conclusion of this case. What in there? You want me to go talk about? If Barra say in his speech that he stands by the rule of law. A man who stands by the rule of law and believes in the rule of law will believe that anyone who is associated with any crime must be prosecuted. Impartially too. But in Joe Barra's mind, which he needs to be, Joe Barra thinks, as soon as you say prosecution, they mean guilty. Because we are prosecuting you, it means you must be guilty. And prosecution under our law does not mean you will be guilty or you must be guilty. It means we're trying to find truth. Truth telling from falsehood. Who did it, who didn't do it? Somebody say this something, the person no, I didn't do it. So we'll go to prosecute the case. No wonder the accused will be prosecuted now. But we are going to establish facts, evidence, to see whether that true you did it. It means you must be guilty. But Joe Barra believes that those who are being investigated or prosecuted must be guilty. Hey, that's not due process. That's no due process. That because somebody is accused, they must be guilty. That's not due process. That's jungle justice. So when you dispensing justice, they say dispense justice, it means a person could be accused falsely. Somebody could be accused falsely. Somebody could be accused through people could conspire against another group of people to accuse them falsely. That's why I say let's dispense justice. Meaning, let's go and see what the person right or wrong. When you wrong, that's justice. When a competent court of jurisdiction, when a court of competent jurisdiction, yes, it matters. And say, yeah, you're guilty. That's justice. When a court of competent jurisdiction, yes, it matters. And say, you're not guilty. That's still justice. Justice means guilty. So in Barra's reasoning, justice means guilty. When you're not guilty, it means justice was not served. That's Barra's reasoning. And this has to stop. This is a dangerous path. That if we are not careful, the moment Baka leaves the presidency, and when he's leaving the presidency, we are going to have an empty judiciary. Because the coup wants to start resigning. We are hearing that an associate justice of the bench, a member of the bench, is considering resigning, putting in for early retirement. Now they're threatening the person that if the person put in for early retirement, they will not pay them, they will not get that benefit. So the person should stay on the bench. What kind of country here? You say, oh, just that go. You convicting people in the absence of evidence. Then you say you are committed to prosecuting the case of the due process. Oh yeah, let the disease people and carry them to jail. Yeah? Then we solidify our political position that we are unity partisans and I'm the president in charge. We certify our political position. So let's sue them. They carry them to court. Let's sue them. When we sue them, we'll convict them. We'll send them to jail. In his man, that justice. We saw it here. The man who says he's committed to due process or to the rule of law. Just preliminary, that invitation was being served to people in the civil and to go to Capitol building and to go to police. Preliminary investigation. Baka had already concluded. He had already concluded that Capitol building Brenny that was awesome. He had already concluded that Capitol building Brenny was awesome before the police even called them for an investigation. And somebody thought the police was going to clear civil then when the person had already said that awesome. No. We didn't expect that. The case had gone more than a year. More than a year, the case has gone. The police boasted. The government boasted. The state boasted that they had preponderance of evidence. That's what they use. They went and got an indictment. Waiting for prosecution. Today now, the preponderance of evidence that they claimed to have, they can produce rack. They carry one dirty recording. The recording can't even play. They carry the other one again. It can't even play. They say put the recording on speaker. Then they didn't want to put the recording on speaker. Because even the jurors can't even hear the recording. They put it on speaker. But what didn't the person talking? Yeah, I mean, I was saying gramophone radio. What are we talking here? That is state evidence. After more than a year, that all they have after a year plus, they can't produce any evidence. Now they complain that they don't trust juror. So I would say, hey, start the case, bring the evidence, all the evidence you have to link directly. All these people accused, Tom Etridge, Amos Kofa, John Yanti, then bring all the evidence that linked these individuals directly to the crime. Just bring the evidence. Jason Sibo, what the guy from Grange there, Jacob Debbie, Funati Kofa, Abu Kamara. Bring the evidence that directly link these people. Let's see it. Let's hear it. They can't bring the evidence that directly link them to Capitol building saga. The cost the grasshopper passing from the code. So we now trust the code. Oh, we saw someone at Rad running general and the water they brought from the body from the canteen and they rather pass it. Possibly Iraqi from the canteen. So let's adjourn the case. They go outside, somebody start a car, the car smoking. Oh no, they car smoking. We need to extend it over to NSA for investigation. We don't know who get the car. Why they bring smoking car on the car? Yeah, we need to adjourn the case. They go adjourn the case. They won't go pass even the court. Oh no, what they won't gonna pass it for? Oh, we not trust they won't. They adjourn the case. That's all they're doing. Oh, the Chief Justice will come to where 8 o'clock, but he just come you. So we have to go in office to go submit someone and preview. So they adjourn the case. Oh, we get meeting at the Ministry of Justice today. So we can hear the case. So let's adjourn the case. Oh, Joseph Baka drinking tea in Wasonga tomorrow. So we can hear the case. Let's adjourn. Oh, Katumu Baka have your birthday party in Bomi County. So we can hear the case. Let's adjourn. That nonsense they own. Let's take course. Then you see they got evidence. They desperately deeply corrupt government, a government that is desperately in need to put Fonatine behind bars. If Liberia was a country that doesn't have due process, that is tied to international appraisal. If Liberia did not have a judicial process that was tied to international appraisal, the Fonatine in jail. They were desperate to put Fonatine in jail. That they don't will be having evidence and sitting down on the evidence and talking about the responsibility of the lawyers, the defense counsel, and the prosecuting counsel. The responsibility is to convince the jurors. So you get evidence that Sibo didn't bring capital bearing. You can produce the evidence to the juror, then the juror see it. Then you concerned about the kind of question they're asking you. You ain't get rack. Rack didn't get. The one who desperate to pull Fonatine in G. That they didn't want will be having evidence. They setting that bot on it. Big, yeah. 0776 104 104 0886 500 104. Let's take calls. It's good. Let's take calls and then we'll go home. How many calls? I'll take 6 calls and then I'll go home and leave. Hello, good evening to you. Let's hear you.
This is Agent G. I'm calling from Roto Town.
Roto Town, go ahead.
Yeah. You know, my black brother is nearly part of the government. In the 14-year war that we fought, 250,000 human beings lost their life. But the woman want to take us back to where we come from. We are praying that we're not happy.
If we're not happy, we're not going back. We'll remove him. We're not going back.
Remove him.
Oh, yeah, we'll go back. We're chastising. And with 2029, we'll go remove him.
We're moving from there. Where you see two forces in Akiado Bay, the minority and the majority, into conflict. Then something happen. Then you are only looking at one side. It's not real. Before the Akiado Bay was born at the day, the guy from Nima, who is now the senator who succeeded Prince Johnson,
Samuel Koka.
He is the spokesman. Samuel Koka and the now speaker. They went in Akiado Bay, moved a chair from in the chamber, and then the fire got out of the place. Why did Tokyo be investigated?
Thank you. Next person. They will not investigate them. They bring the building. Hello?
Yeah, hello?
Let's hear you.
Yeah, you're speaking with Sam F. Sila Jr. from Logantown and Bushwale.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for the talking point this evening. You see, you was discussing about the court business between Fonatikufa and that of the government. You know, I was once in certain shoes like that before when I was in Rossville. I was accused of doing something. So they take us to court, and one of the court I was not found guilty, so I have to sue the guy that accused me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have to sue him back. So it's very clearly that when the government is saying that they have no sufficient evidence to prove them right, then why you and yourself can Abu Banakabara, the CCO and all of the former speaker to sue the government?
No. That's correct. This your own case. You went to court. You were exonerated, right?
I want to go to court.
And you were exonerated.
They dropped the case. I was not prosecuted first. they dropped the case, and when they found out that the guy that accused me, he was lying on me.
Okay, so you were you were exonerated for that. You were exonerated, right?
Yeah.
You were exonerated, right? You were free.
Yeah.
Okay, so the fact that you were not guilty, that constituted so that not guilty verdict constituted the legal ground for you to sue. So if Fonatine case has not concluded yet, so they will have no legal ground to sue.
Okay, you said something that
Thank you. The next person. Hello.
Hello.
Let's hear you. Please go ahead.
Did I hear you say Joseph Baga PP on the Constitution?
That's what I said. He pays on it.
Oh, President, my man, the President PP.
He PP on it. He pays on the Constitution, my man. Data. Hello.
Hello.
Just hear you. Manese, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. You're doing well for all. You said the man back, you're not doing nothing here. The only one thing you with devil, here though with death. And why did we labor with people over here? Nothing you will say. That case, they will get any. You get it? Hello?
Yeah, I'm getting you. You laugh.
Okay. They will get any. They put by the chapter building the law on the today, 1 year from what? They do it there. What I want is that say the poor say, move the fire right for yesterday. Some that on the telling what for saying that. And I seen it be and I say, okay, this is here we pray for war. Take it and thank you for that.
Thank you. Good evening to you. Hello.
Hello, okay.
Yes.
Thank you my dear brother. And let me say thanks to the Freedom family for the brilliant work for Liberian people, more especially the workaholic CEO, the Mr. Ilman for the recognition for the public and pocket Robert. And I told you this even for our unknown destinations. You know, Austin, you know something actually can happen. That's very serious and disgraceful. Austin for a all papi. I'm talking about young boy all I can lie, and then we say, oh, because we young, we will lie. But a old man to lie in such a form and manner that the papi they call incompetent and a very reckless of the personal lie yesterday of Austin. It baffles me. It baffles me. It's very heartening. Yesterday, how do you call it? Austin, brother Austin, your sister station, OKFM. Talk the microphone to the people themselves and say, today your president will be speaking to you, your power will be speaking to you. What you want for your power to do? The people is crying on drop ratio, the protest, they are launching in poverty. All of them are incompetent, reckless, ruthless administration. Then the people said, what I yesterday like a drastically, shamelessly, not even shamelessly, but shamelessly, and say he created 70,000 jobs. Oscar, are you kidding me? 70,000.
No, not me getting you. Just a baga.
Yes. Hello?
Go ahead.
Hello, Austin, you're calling me. You're calling me to all of.
No, I said not me getting you. Just a baga.
No, not you telling me. Austin, I just trying to share a little scenario here, my brother, because 204 in the sister conference. Yeah, me and Bagana for in the sister conference. Me and Austin, a very serious manner. Let's national. Let's get Austin before in the sister conference.
Thank you.
So Austin, it's very happening. But you know what we say to Mr. Braga? You can lie to come to power, but you cannot lie to govern. One of those days where our people now know their own immunity. You taking our immunity, you are embezzled. Your family inherit. You telling us, say, oh, I can tell this. You didn't do it to us. You are doing it yourself because your unborn generation was over here. The Tata Braga was over here. They wanted like not point here. They was over here. Because y'all need Braga is a stigma. A serious stigmatization.
Thank you. Let's talk to somebody else. Let's take 2 calls and then we go 5, 10, 15 minutes. So we take 2 calls and then we go home. Who that man calling me? That man. The man asked me whether I said Baga PB on the Constitution. Yeah, I said the man pays on the Constitution. He said, you asked me. Did you say? Hello?
Thank you, Austin. Thank you for having me. Let me say,
sentence would even do the many not in the conversation. My name is Woody. Yes, Woody, and I put in for free book. Austin, thank you so much for the excellent presentation made by you. But yesterday it was not a surprising news to us because Mr. Waka Sona was characterized by lie and deception.
I mean, I forget about that man also not being that talk about they talk about the thing we talk about. Did that man as I mentioned that man also not being that particular portion we mentioned about the court issue and the capital building thing. Yes, you can talk about that.
And that week I'm coming to that something.
Okay.
And that week, Jota Shivas Waka, who is presiding over this country, it is not doing well for us. For you to acknowledge all, we are due protest and say that those who won the capital building should be protected. I think it's unfortunate. Jota Waka needs to be serious. Even the court, our justice system needs to be serious because you cannot be put and a separate branch of government is really all agree to say, oh, these are people who bring the capital building. I think it will not sound as a responsible government. Waka is not serious, and this government will not achieve what they want to achieve. The king will lie, and they cannot promote lie. They must provide the opportunity that they promise the Liberian people because a credible institution, independent institution, a civil society institution, out of 300 some more promises that were made, this government couldn't pass in 3. The government is score 0. I think it is for time and the Liberian people open their eyes, come 2029, Mr. We will be back and see if you will take full charge of this country. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you so much. One more caller to go, and then we go home. This person should be our last caller. Hello?
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Let's hear you.
Yeah. Is this Austin Kawa?
Please go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you very much for the show. Mr. Political Officer, can I speak?
Go ahead.
Because our president away, asking for permission to go to it. Yeah, that's just my point I want to make. And concerning, that's just my point.
I mean, that means the call of the day, yeah? It's going on in there. This WhatsApp phone is ringing. Who's that? Mon car? Hello?
Good evening. Yeah, good evening, Austin.
Good evening to you. Let's hear you.
Yeah, Waka, when the capital building thing happened, the very day the president appeared there, he didn't wait for any investigation. We don't know where he got his report from. He talked about Hassan attack, Uru Games. So going to the Sona, that's the first thing he decided to mention because that was what hurting him. That was what was hurting him. Because the way in which they anticipated the case to have gone, they're not going on their way. So they got to be changing or things around to make sure that it works for them.
The minute evidence is working. The minute evidence not working, he going through.
Yeah. So he frustrated over it. Go to the national disco, and the case is in court. They go through the process of jury hearing everything, presiding over the case. Now you guys are tragic. You stay there. Well, are you guys going to select new group of juror or how Supreme Court going to say about it? We're still waiting for the case in court. Why are you talking about it? You still talking about it? One house on attack. You still talking about it? So where are we with this cosmetic reconciliation that you always talk about? There is no day in your life at this age that you will come up one day to say something that will sound reconciliatory. Every day you come up, you sound vindictive against the other side of the devices. Every time you come up, you are angry against the other side. How do you do that? And this is why you are struggling to lead this country. So, but as I always said, thanks to you because you keep pushing this thing and you are doing the right thing. Because whatsoever way it go, at least the people will be in the know. We have our say. We follow the case. Nobody not going to lie to us, and we will continue to follow it until we come to a logical conclusion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We have to go home. Takunje, where are you? Dela.
My people, where you at? Where you at? Wake up from your slumber. Stop sleeping. Wave your hands, wave your hands, wave your hands, wave your. Come on, come on, come on. I know you're sleeping.
The people can say every good thing must come to an end. This other one was good for some people and for many people too. But it was bad to some people because they didn't want to hear the truth. But we shall be back here tomorrow, Wednesday, man. So until we see tomorrow, do have yourselves pleasant moments in your respective areas. My name is Austin Kawa. Bye bye.
The government betray us. They get lies, they get steal. I said we tired with their lies. We tired with their promises that led us to all our damages. We tired with that speech they preach in D and now you need to deceive us.